What's good, man? Welcome back to another episode of Lead with Purpose. It's your host, Low Key Lil. You feel me? And we back with another episode, man. So yeah, today we're doing over the law of addition. And yeah, let's just dive into it per usual.
Okay, so we are going to skip the actual story
Yeah, facts. We're going
This
super
week.
sim. We're going super sim the story.
because the law of addition is basically about you can't be a leader unless you serve, and you serve people around you, and the greatest leaders serve everybody who's underneath them or around them the same, and they don't look down on anybody that's around them. They always try to add value to somebody's life, whether it's a meal, whether it's a place to stay, whether it's a lesson to be taught, or a ear to listen. An ear to listen. So, the law of addition. It went quick. It went real quick for me. I read this one quick. I got it out the way because I really enjoyed the story about the Costco CEO. But like I said, we're going to spirit out that story.
Yeah, we just going. I mean, the story. It was long story short. The story was basically just saying like, you just got to be willing to whatever value you have to be able to add value to some people or places or whatever you're doing, and people reciprocate that energy and be appreciative of you adding some type of value to their life. So yeah.
All right. So the true importance of the chapter, it was in the guidelines, and the author had 4 guidelines that he says that you should follow that help you add value to other people. Now, you could probably fill in the blanks with other things in your life that you feel like add value. But as we read the story, this is one. These are the 4 guidelines that he has for valuing others. And the first one is truly value others, right? It's pretty like, bro started off with a banger. How you add value, you gotta be valuable. He said.
Real
So
basically is what he said.
he said, becoming a leader means to give up on your right to think of yourselves first. We need to focus on others. We must value people and demonstrate our caring in a way that our followers know it. I'm told that in American Sign Language, the sign for serving is to hold out hands in front of you with your palms facing up and moving back and forth between the signer and signee. And really, this is a good metaphor for the attitude of a servant leader. I actually see this one as a parent. Because once you become a parent, like, it's no longer about yourself. And it's no longer about yourself in the small instances of day-to-day life. Like, I can't just jump up and go somewhere because I have to think about what it means for my family.
Yeah.
Does my wife have something to do? Is the baby tired, hungry, sleep? Does he need his diaper changed? Does he, you know what I mean? Like, is his schedule going to be messed up by me jumping out? Even coming over here, like, I had to schedule it around his schedule.
Yeah.
And then we
Made it work.
We make it work. Like, and sometimes it happens like, okay, I got work to do, or I need to prepare for the next day, but I need to hang out with him, or I need to get him ready for bed. So I can't think about myself in this moment. I have to serve other people.
Yeah.
What you get from the first guideline? Truly
Value others. I just feel like that's just overall. I just think back to just overall being a good person.
Yeah.
So like whatever it is, like I don't know. I guess it's like a metaphor or analogy or something. It says like treat the owner of the company the same way you treat the janitor or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
So like that's what I think about when I hear like value others. Like
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what they do, why they do it. Just make sure like you're treating people as people.
And it goes back to the golden rule, man. Treat others the way you want to be treated.
Yeah, facts.
And it doesn't matter their rank, their title. You just add value to their life. And the value doesn't have to be huge. Like, you don't got to be a person who's like, I got $5,000 for everybody around. It could be every time somebody sees you, you got a smile on your face and then you make them feel happy. I got a player, I came to practice, I think this was last week, maybe 2 weeks ago. I came in and I was just talking, I don't know what happened, but I was just talking to the kids, like when we came in the morning. And when you get to workouts in the morning, everybody's sleepy, tired, they don't want to be there. And I was just talking to him on something regular. And he was like, yo, Coach Brad, why are you always so happy? And I was like, I'm really just being me.
Yeah, facts.
But like, if you take it as me being happy, so you're a little bit more energetic, you're a little bit happier to be around me, then that's adding value to somebody's life, is being around somebody positive as well. So it can be small wins and victories as well. It doesn't have to be, I gave you an opportunity to work with a Fortune 500 company.
Yeah, facts. It don't gotta be nothing crazy.
Bro, maybe it's, hey, every time I see you, bro, you got snacks. Or,
yeah,
You're the guy. You're the guy with
snack
snacks. Every time I see you, it's a good joke. You know what I mean? Every time I see you, it's a good time.
You can make me laugh or something.
Those are things that add value to people's lives. Or every time I see you, I'm I know you could be responsible. Or hey, if Lil shows up, okay, we're gonna be straight.
Yeah, facts.
Like that could be that could be something that truly adds value to people. All right, guideline number 2, make ourselves more valuable to others. So the whole idea of adding value to other people depends on the idea that you have something of value to add. You can't give what you do not possess. What do you have to give to others? Can you teach skills? Can you give opportunities? Can you offer insight and perspectives gained through experience? None of these things come without a price. If you have skills, you gain them through study and practice. And if you have opportunities to give, you acquire them through hard work. If you possess wisdom, you gained it by intentionally evaluating the experiences you've had. The more intentional you have been with your personal growth, the more you have to offer. This is kind of contradictory because we're trying to serve others, but it tells us to fill our glasses up as much as possible so that we're capable of filling we're capable of serving other people. But I think this was a cool...
You ain't even read the last sentence. The more you continue to pursue personal growth, the more you will continue to have the offer. You didn't even read the last sentence.
Well, I just, I completed the thought though.
Yeah, I'm saying, but the half glass, I'm like, the more you fill your glass, that's why I said read the last one. Because that's what it was basically saying. But, yeah, just make yourself more valuable. And I feel like what he's trying to get at here is you have to make sure like you have something to offer somebody else. Like, and it like I keep saying money off the rip because I feel like that's the first thing. Well, that's the first thing my mind go to. But, like whatever you have that is valuable to others, that might be advice. That might be some common sense. That just might be a different outlook on life, some positive outlooks on life, anything like that. But you have to make sure like you're right first. I feel like that's what it's getting at first. Like you got to make sure I'm right because I can't make sure you right and I'm not right. Yeah. So that's what I feel like I'm getting out of like make yourself more valuable to others.
I try to tell people that all the time. Like, bro, I got to get right before I try to help you. Yeah, or I can't be worried about your issues and problems if I don't have at least not even I wouldn't say control because you don't really have control over issues and problems and challenges. But if I can't have control over myself to deal with them, then how am I going to tell you to do something? Or if I'm not right in myself, how am I going to, give you advice or help you?
It's like the blind leading the blind for real.
Yeah. So like
like the blind leading the blind.
That's where I got from that one. So make ourselves more valuable to others. So this is just continued personal work. So if you're somebody who, like you said, if you got skills to teach, then you probably put in work, study, and practice. Right. And I always go back to football for coaching. I added value to players because I put in time studying and practicing my skills. I wasn't always like this from the first year, but you put in work, experience, you put in time, and then it shows like okay,
that's what it is.
You got something to add to me. Like I'm trying to get somewhere, and I think you can help me because of your skill set, focus, and their ability to teach.
Yeah, right.
Opportunities that might just become from talking to people. You know what I mean? Building relationships. But yeah, you gotta build yourself up. And whatever that way that means, whether you're building your relationships, building your skills, building your leadership value, like that all, it goes back to the law of the lid. So, all right, number 3. Know and relate to what others value.
Very important.
Know and relate to what others value. Inexperienced leaders are quick to lead before knowing anything about the people they intend to lead. But mature leaders listen, learn, and then lead. They listen to learn their people's stories. They find out about their hopes and dreams. They become acquainted with their aspirations, and they pay attention to their emotions. From those things, they learn who their people are and what is valuable to them. And then they lead based upon what they've learned, what they do. When they do that, everyone wins. The organization, the leader, and the followers. What you got?
I feel like this made me really think back to like just about everything that we've been talking up until this point. Because I feel like to add value to someone, it's very critical and crucial that you know what they value. Because you can't add value to something that you don't know where their value, like where they put most of their value at, or where they hold most of their value. So I feel like
you giving me food, but I ain't hungry.
So it's just like when you look back at it. So like I know when people ask me, they say like I'm coming to you. Well, I got a story I want to tell you. the first thing I usually ask them is say, do you want me to just listen, or you want me to listen to respond?
Yeah.
So that puts it into like their court to say, okay, I just want you to listen.
Yeah. What
So
are you trying to get out of it?
I know that's where that's where they hold the most value. They just need an ear to listen. They're listening to respond. They want my outlook. They want my opinion on it. They're looking for a resolution. They don't know how to solve it. But that gives me two different, scopes of things to say, okay, where are we checking the value box at? You want me to just listen, or do you want me to respond to what you're saying and have a solution for it? Because some people is not always looking for a solution or something. They just want somebody to just hear out what they say. You hear them, you understand it, and they just need to get it off their chest.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's important to know what their value and why they value whatever it is, and then you know how to move accordingly. Because you don't want to be somebody just coming to you as a listening ear, or they just need like to get something off their chest, and you're over there trying to like solve their problems.
Yeah,
like you feel me? Like I didn't ask you to solve it. I just want you to just listen. So I feel like that was something that I had to like learn. I learned that was a learned skill through experience and stuff, because I was always solution driven. Like, don't come to me with a problem if you don't want a solution.
Yeah, sort of. I know what you mean. So like, are we fixing this, or
but I had to learn like not everybody needs me to solve their problem.
I had to learn that in relationships.
Yeah, so I had to just learn that, but that was just a learned skill though.
I had to learn that in relationships too, because sometimes, and this can be for anybody. Sometimes your lady will come to you with an issue or a problem, but they just want you to listen to it. And I was on some like, bro, if you're coming to me with a problem, let's move.
Let's solve it.
What are we just sitting here talking about?
Facts.
Do we want to? I want to be more healthy. So are we going to the store to get the stuff, or like what are we doing?
Or we just chilling?
But you got to learn how to because that's not what they need in that moment.
Facts.
And sometimes you just sitting there and listening, people know the answer to their problems, issues. They just need somebody to run it past real quick and to tell them like, hey,
you're not tripping.
You're not tripping, or you're not the only one
that's feeling that way.
But are we moving, or you just need me to? That's a good question, though. I think I need to start doing that a little bit more, or just be like, okay, you're coming to me with something. Do you want me to just listen to this, or do you want me to help you solve it?
And when you do it from the beginning, it's not like you're like neglecting anything that they're saying. You're asking them before they even start. So like, all right, cool. Now don't expect me to just be responding during the middle of your story, because I'm going to listen.
I'm going to listen.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything. You have my full attention. I'm just going to listen to you. So yeah.
That's hard to do sometimes, though.
It is hard to do, but sometimes, you just got to, because every problem is not your problem either.
I like this one, number 4, the guideline. Number 4 says, do things that God values. It says, this final value may not be for everybody. If so, just skip it. But for me, it's non-negotiable. I believe that God desires us not only to treat people with respect, but also to actively reach out to them and serve them. Scripture provides examples and descriptions of how we should conduct ourselves. But here's my favorite, captured by Eugene Patterson's The Message. When he finally arrives, blazing in beauty and all his angels with him, the Son of Man will take his place on the glorious throne. Then all the nations will be arranged before him, and he will sort out the people, much as a shepherd sorts out the sheep and goats, putting sheep on his right and goats to his left. Then the king will say to those on the right, enter, you are blessed by my Father. Take what's coming to you in this kingdom. It's been ready for you since the world's foundation, and here's why. I was hungry and you fed me. I was thirsty and you gave me a drink. I was homeless and you gave me a room. I was shivering and you gave me clothes. I was sick and you stopped to visit, and I was in prison and you came to me. Then those sheep are going to say, Master, what are you talking about? When did we ever see you hungry and feed you, thirsty and give you a drink? And when did we ever see you sick or in prison and come to you? Then the king will say, I'm telling you the solemn truth. Whenever you did one of these things to someone overlooked or ignored, that was me. You did it to me. The standard for my conduct influences everything I do, not just in my leadership, but especially in my leadership. Because the more power I have, the greater my impact on others, for better or worse. And I always want to be someone who adds value to others, not take it away. God values people so much that when we add value to them, he takes it personal. So this is one of the reasons I chose to be a teacher. I wanted to add value to people's lives in a positive way, because I had a skill set to teach. And I think it is doing like God's work, teaching people, and especially young kids that, they're still very vulnerable in the world. So It's one of the reasons I became a teacher.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Amongst other ones, but for sure, just to add value to people's life, whether it be positive, whether because I remember people that taught me things.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you taught me how to do, like I remember one of our uncles. I remember I was struggling to regroup when you do addition.
Yeah.
Or not when you do subtraction. You know how you got to take something from the tens and then add it to the ones. I was like, yo, I don't understand this at all. I remember him sitting down, and it only took him 10, 15 minutes. And I remember him teaching me how to regroup, and it's not regroup. I'm an ELA teacher. What's the call? Yeah, it's regrouping, isn't it?
You asking me? I ain't been in school in years.
Yeah, it's regroup when you take. So like, say you got 10 minus, I don't know, 10 minus 8. You can't subtract from the ones place 0 and 8. So you have to bring a 10 over.
Okay.
So it's
okay,
I think it is just regrouping. But
I'm about to say you can't.
See, I'm still struggling with it. I'm still struggling with it. But I remember him giving me the process to figure it out. And that sticks with me. So when you add value to somebody's life because you helped them figure something out, or you taught them a concept or a lesson, I feel like that's some of the most valuable things that you can do. You know what I mean? So that's why I became a teacher. That's one of the reasons that fuels me to become a coach. I really think it benefits people in life. So
the main thing that I took from this is I underlined. I said the more power I have, the greater my impact on others, for better or for worse. So I just thought that was just a key point that I just wanted to just highlight for the listeners, viewers, and everything like that. We're gonna dive right into the questions now. Let's do it. So we're gonna start with this one. Does the leader's motives matter, or is it simply getting the job done that's important? What's the bottom line?
Come on, your motives definitely. Because if you're like, say you set out to do a project, let's say it's a charity project, right?
Right.
But your motives is to some personal, like you're trying to build up your brand or something like that.
Yeah,
or
you're trying to run up a bag off the charity event.
Yeah, or like your personal, I don't know how to, like there's people like, whenever they do something, it's not for, you see it on social media all the time. Like
they don't do it for the right reason.
They're not doing it because, hey, I'm genuinely trying to help you. I'm doing it so I can grow my page, or I can get XYZ followers, or I want people to feel sorry for me or feel like I'm a good person. So that's the way I took this. Like, so I think your motive really does mean everything, because that's the part that God sees, and that goes back to number 4. Because it can look good on the outside. Like, you could do the work.
Yeah, facts.
You could look in the community like this grand figure. But if your motive is something personal, like you're trying to get over on people or raise your bar, raise your status, and you're really not serving others, first of all, people are going to feel that.
Yeah.
And God is going to see that. So there's not going to be any denying, like,
facts.
You weren't really in that for the right reasons. So go ahead. What you think?
I think the motive always matters. Because I just think, like you said, like you really hit the nail on the head for real. I don't even have really too much to say, but basically, like, I don't feel like you can do anything, or you could do a lot of things, but have the wrong intentions behind what you're doing. And I feel like you said, like people will see it, like you won't even be able to like carry yourself like in a manner of where it seems genuine. Like you're trying to put on a facade, and people that are real can see through that 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
So like, your motive definitely matters behind what you're doing. And if you're saying that you're doing it for XYZ reasons, and people come to you like, yo, well, you said you was doing it for XYZ reasons, like where's the results, or like where's the where's the evidence that that's what you did, and you're drawing blanks. It's just like, like you're killing your own reputation. So I definitely feel like it's not just about getting a job done. It's why you're doing
definitely
it.
Definitely got to be motives.
Yeah,
like,
it has to be.
The motive is like, I feel like that's the driving force that makes you a better leader. Like, are you trying to just, are you doing this for some type of crazy gain? Like, are you trying to take advantage of people?
Yeah.
Or are you really coming at people like, I want to learn from you. Like, humbly, I want to learn from you. Like, I don't want nothing in return from you. I think about my players, and it's like, hey, Coach Brad is coaching us, and he wants us to succeed. But does he want us to succeed so he can like launch his training or his coaching business or his training videos? Or is he really just coaching us on some, bro, I just want y'all to be good or better than I was?
And I got a passion for coaching.
I really don't, like, not that I don't care. about the accolades and stuff, because that stuff feels good. I ain't
Yeah.
gonna lie to you. Like, it feels good when somebody comes back and says, yo, thank you for being my coach.
XYZ, yeah.
Or I really appreciate the way you taught me. Or you get recognized in some way in the sports community for doing something well. But I swear to, when I do something, the reason I study is not because I want people to go like, yeah,
he know football.
I want my players to be better. Like, I want them to be able to go out and execute. That's all I want, bro. I want y'all to be able to execute, so that the feelings that I had when we won a game on Friday nights, or the feelings I had in the locker room because we had won a game and that camaraderie and stuff, I want y'all to feel that.
Yeah.
And then it got me to school. And I feel like everybody, if you don't stay in school, like, just go for the first semester, because it's so fun. So just get to school so you can learn how to be by yourself for the first time.
Yeah.
And like, just experience that okay, I've got the processes, I can be alone.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes people like don't do good with that type of freedom, but I think it was amazing. So my thing was like, I want you guys to get to that level. Like, I want you to get to a level at least that I experienced, and have like a window for success that you can see through. So and then in school is the same thing. Like, bro, like, I don't want people to be able to tell you like you can't sit in this room or you don't know what's going on because you're this type of person.
Yeah.
Like, you can learn this stuff too. Like, you could do it. Like, I don't know who told you can't do it. It's going to take you a little bit of time. You might not be gifted at it like somebody else, but yo, you could do this. So, and I don't want you to come back and give me no money for it. Like, just give me a quick thank you. Like, yo, you really helped me out. All right.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's all I need.
That's cool. I'm good.
Because there's going to be a whole bunch of other people that are going to need it too. So,
yeah, facts.
And I feel like that was ingrained in us the way we were raised.
Early.
Yeah, so, because we seen servant leadership up front every day, whether we knew it or not. We seen somebody that was very, very kind, honest, genuine, and didn't want nothing in return.
Just didn't want nothing. Even when you tried to give them.
When you tried to give them something, bro. And I know a lot of the genuine people that I know that are leaders, when you try to give them something, they be like,
yeah, I'm
cool,
good. Yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool. That's one of them things you just gotta slide it to them on the back end, or give it to somebody else to give it to them.
But you also gotta learn. That's another thing I'm learning in growth, is learning how to celebrate yourself.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you could be so humble where it's like, bro, like, why? No.
Like, yeah, like, just take this.
Take the compliment. Like, you're good. But anyway, that's a long-winded way to say.
Motives matter.
Motives matter.
Facts.
Motives matters. Okay.
All right. We going to this next one. What does it mean to add value to someone?
To teach them. That's personally what I feel. If you teach them, it's that old cliche, like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Right? Like, I want to be able to lead you to water. Now, if you, whatever you choose to do with the lessons that you either gain from me in school or sports or life, that's up to you. Yeah. But I'm at least tell you where the water's at. Yeah. Try my best to, because
tell you where the water's
or
at.
Show you how I found the water.
Yeah, facts. I feel like to add value to someone is kind of like what I hit on before. It's just number one, the understanding, where they hold their value, and then like taking in to account your experiences, your emotions, your connections, your advice, and being able to offer that to someone in a genuine way that can help them navigate through their life and get through the situation. And they can come back to you and say, like, yeah, I appreciate you, or whatever the case may be. But I feel like the key point of that is just number one is to have the knowledge to do so. Yeah. And then also being able to be genuine behind what you're doing.
I also value happiness. Like, if somebody brings me happiness, I do appreciate that.
I value peace.
Yeah, peace and happiness.
I value peace.
If I could be around you and have a good time, I really
cool.
appreciate that. Facts. So that, I feel like that's adding value to somebody's life. Some of the things that he hit on, like, if you give me an opportunity, I go back to my first teaching job and my first coaching jobs. Somebody gave me an opportunity, and I was like, oh, that really added value to my life. Now listen, I could do whatever I wanted with that
opportunity.
Yeah, and it was up to me to either sink or swim. But I appreciate you even
give me the opportunity,
bro. Like, you just gave me the opportunity, or you like went out your way to put your name out for me. Yeah, that's really dope.
That holds a lot.
Yeah, so like that adds. I think giving somebody an opportunity adds value to their life. When you see their potential, or you see the work that they're trying to put in, and they're like, I got this position for you. Let's see what you do with it. Like that's dope to me.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
that adds a lot of value. So if you give peace, happiness, like if I can joke around and be around you, and then you give me an opportunity to do something, yeah.
No, that's adding value. Yeah. So, well, we're gonna go to the next question. How has someone added value to you? It's kind of like what you just hit on.
It's definitely for sure.
It's kind of like what you just hit on. I'm like for me, for someone that I feel like to add value is just number one is I feel like when people give you tips, or one of the main things that I always think of when I think about how someone can add value is when they say, "Oh, if I could do it all over again, I would do it this way." I feel like that is the most valuable statement that anybody could ever give you, because they didn't do it that way from the jump, but they have learned so much. If they would start over, they're giving you a chance before you even do it, to say, yo, if I was to do it all over, this is how I would do it.
But you got to be a wise person to accept that and be like, oh, he's telling me.
You're giving me the blueprint of how to get to where I want to be.
Because there's some folks that you'll say that to them, like, bro, like, this is how I did it, and it did not go well.
Yeah, if I was to do it all over again, I would do it this way. And people be like,
it goes. I can tie it back to a relationship. Were you done with your point? My fault.
No, yeah, I'm cool. But that's how someone can add value to
people be asking me, like, how you and your wife been together since high school? I was like, yo, I had old heads telling me, don't mess this up. Like, you got a good one.
Don't mess it up.
Here they go. Yeah, I had a good one, bro. I couldn't stay out the streets. I'm like, okay. I know a whole bunch of stories like that.
Yeah, facts.
You got a whole bunch of old heads that said that they couldn't, their first relationship or they lost their true love because of whatever the case may be. Whether it was their job and career that they put ahead of their significant other, whether it was other shorties that they put in front of their significant other.
Cheating.
Yeah, whether it was, I don't know, selfishness, whatever you call it. There's a whole bunch of stories of old heads telling you, like, yo, I did it the wrong way.
Yeah, so listen to me when I say this.
So, like, my whole thing was, yo, I seen how that story ends.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do that.
Why not try this joint that I didn't hear about, where I just stay with this girl for a little bit, just to see what happens. Yeah. And I actually like her.
Yeah, facts.
Like, now she's my wife, how many other years is later, but I even have people say, oh, nah, you got a good one. She's athletic. She's smart. If my first one was goofy and blah, 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 I'm like, oh, so, like, I need to pick and choose a shorty that's, like...
Facts.
So, like, if you have somebody that's giving you that wisdom, it takes a wise person to, like, accept it. Now, I'm not saying that all old heads or all advice that you get... You gotta have some
discernment.
Yeah, all advice that you get is going to be for you.
Right.
But, like, if they're telling you things and you, like, can, like, guess and check it, and you're like, oh, that
makes sense, or you can see how, like, they got to where they want to be based on what they're saying to you. You gotta, like, I feel like that's the most valuable statement. If I could do it all over again, so listen, if somebody says to you, if I could do it all over again, or they hit you with a man first, if I could do it all over again, just listen, hear them out, and if there's somewhere that you think that you want to be, or have some type of success that you want, just listen to what they have to say.
I had this dude, he passed away, man. He was a good, his name was Steve. But I landscaped with him in college. Like, that's how I paid for college. I used to go out and landscape with him. Man, but Steve was like, because I started dating Renee when I was like in high school. Yeah. But like around college, he was like, that's when I started making my mistakes, because college, it was so, like, it was available to me and everything. Yeah. So he was like, yo, just don't mess it up. I had one of my boys, Sav was like, yo, don't mess it up.
Just don't mess it up. Ball's in your court.
Boy Sav, Unc was like, yo, don't mess it up.
Because it's on you at this point.
Because it's on you. Don't mess that up.
It goes back to, like you said, when somebody give you the opportunity, it's like, it's on you to, like, sink or swim.
Don't mess it up, yo.
Another one, this is like one of my best friends. His uncle said, focus or fold. Facts. His uncle said, focus or fold. So what you gonna do? You go focus or you gonna fold? And that, I mean, so it's basically the same thing you said. Yeah. This is the last question that we got for the pod. What evidence can you point to that supports the positive influence you had on someone that you led?
A thank you. Like when a student or player comes back and says thank you. I had a player, he's going to college this year. And he was at practice one day over the winter. And he was like, "Man, I'm never gonna have another Coach Brad." And at first, I was like, "What do you're gonna have other position coaches? You're gonna have another OC. You're gonna have another, like, somebody's gonna probably knows football better than me. Somebody's gonna be able to teach and push you a little bit harder than me. Like, you're gonna get another me." He was like, "No, it's not gonna be the same.
It's not the same.
Like, you were one of my first coaches that, like, I really had a relationship with and stuff." So he said it in a very subtle way, but it meant a whole lot. It meant a whole lot to me, because he was just like, "Yo, I'm not gonna get another one of you." And some of the Sarah kids said that as well. They were just like, "Hey, like, nah, you were one of my favorite coaches, and I appreciate, even if you didn't teach me football the best, you made my experience in football better."
Yeah, better.
So that's when they come back and say the thank yous and everything, or they have those moments, because he didn't have to say that to me. Like,
facts.
bro, we was like a Wednesday practice, and he was just like, "Dang, I ain't gonna have it." He was just looking at it. We were just standing there. They were watching the play, and he just like, "Dang, I ain't never gonna have another Coach Brad." I was like, "Oh, that means a lot, man. Appreciate you."
For me, it's I think it's not even about I mean, I always appreciate a thank you, but it's not even about that. It's I like it the most, or I feel like I'm having a positive influence on people when they say, like, or when they come back to you later down the line, or be like, "Yeah, bro, you never even knew. Like, I was watching you. You helped me push through a time or get through something, and you didn't even know it."
Your story is probably
so, like, anything like that. It's just like what you mean, like. It's like, dang, I ain't even. I'm just being me, but that helps you become a better person, to have a positive influence on you enough to where you be like, yeah, I want to, better myself.
You know, when I seen that a lot, it was the wedding day, when people were just like, "Bro, I was watching you. Like, if anybody deserves this, you deserve this."
Yeah, and then when you hear that,
like,
it's
bro,
like, dang, like, that's how you really feel. Because I don't know, like, a lot of my friends and stuff, like, we obviously, like, we joke around, we cool, whatever, but they don't really, like,
express
how, like, they really feel about you until, like, it's like a time, and then, like, you'll really see them, like my friend's not really emotional, but they'll almost get emotional, like, dang.
Like, no, I was really watching you be great.
I watched you get to this point, or I watched you, come out of whatever you came out of. So, like, I feel like that's how you can know when you have the most positive influence.
Yeah, almost breaking down. Yeah, and like. And like you said, that's something that's not even from advice. That's something you're influencing people by just the way you live.
Facts.
So that's like the ultimate level of admiration and like thanks, because I'm just being me, and you were watching me that hard.
And I didn't even know. When they say like people was watching, you never know who's watching you. Like, that's probably one of the truest statements that you could ever hear.
I mean, I look up to you.
Yeah, like, saying something like, well, you never know who's watching you. Even by doing this series, like, people been saying, like, "Oh yeah, I've been seeing you." Like, that's even crazy. Like, because like, people will see it on social media, and they might not like it, they might not comment on it, but for the simple fact that would be like, "Oh yeah, I see you."
Or the simple fact that they're like, "Oh, Lil's doing that." Yeah, that's something that I would see him doing.
Or he could do that. I knew if anybody was going to do it, he was going to do it.
And he's talking about what?
Yeah. Okay. That's him. Yep.
No.
Yeah.
Even one of my coaches came up to me. He was like, "Bro, I actually sat down and listened to an episode." I was like, "For real?
A whole joint?
A whole joint?" I was like, "Man, I only run them through like one time." He was like, "Yeah, like, I really sat, because y'all are dropping knowledge, doing something well, and I appreciate the way you live and everything. And I've been watching you forever." Like, so it's nice when you see, like, and you hear, okay, some of the things that I'm doing, living right, treating people right, doing what I'm supposed to do behind the scenes, people actually
it's cool. And it's not really like benefiting me in like no monetary value or anything, but it's benefiting the people around me, as far as like, okay, like, it's giving people the positive influence that they need, or that they don't see on every day. And it's just like, what, they just being genuine. Like, there's not, like, we're not hosting, like, we don't got no sponsors or nothing. Like, we're not selling a book, anything like that. We're not doing all that.
We're just trying to kick it.
Taking a Saturday, every Saturday, to just, come kick it, talk for a little bit, you feel me, and get a pod up.
Watch some highlights.
Watch some highlights. They're cool. Right, so, yeah, man, that's the law of addition. Any closing remarks you got for him?
Nah, I'm pretty sleepy this episode, bro. We got through this joint, but I ain't gonna hold it. It was a struggle.
Yo. Nah, yeah, this was another.
You just gotta be transparent with people.
Nah, yeah, facts.
If we weren't being transparent, having fun, we'd be honest. Like, it's been a grind getting this. Okay, that's a closing remark.
Yeah.
I fell off the process a little bit.
Facts.
I didn't read my 15 minutes this week. This week was hectic. We had PSSA testing.
And all types of
spring balls coming up, so I was watching film, trying to get all the preparations and stuff. Dropped this camp and everything, so I was like, bro, I was not reading.
And I've been gone for like the past 2 weekends on trips and stuff, so like just getting back into the flow of things, you know. It's
only worked out 3 days last week instead of like the 5 or 6 that I usually get into.
So yeah, it's a struggle, but we're gonna get back to it.
You just gotta and then when you recognize and feel yourself falling off, you just gotta get back to it, and it goes back to the discipline. So I'm only falling off for a week, and it's not even a hard fall off. Like I said, 2 days this week I've read for 15 minutes or more. That's 2 days instead of every day.
Yeah.
And I worked out 3 times instead of 6 or 5 or 7 times. So it's a fall off, but it ain't like I ain't just stop.
Yeah, facts.
So now I just got to correct myself so I can get back to it. But other than that, no, man, we sticking to the process.
We gonna
every
get these
Saturday.
episodes. We gonna keep pushing them out.
And I'm having fun doing it. Like I don't want people to think like, oh, they don't want to do it. No,
yeah, like this is.
It's helping me a lot because
cool
it's reminding me.
Talk through the book.
Yeah.
Have somebody to talk through the book with, somebody that understands who you are.
We got a long way to go, but it's gonna be nice when we get to chapter 21 or whatever the ending is.
Because then we get a full recap. Facts.
Or we're just gonna be like, yo, we did that.
We did it. We did a full 21 episodes. My goal this year was to pump out 12 podcast episodes. We're already on 6.
Look at that, and you didn't even tell me that.
Yeah, that was my goal to do 12 this year.
Ain't that crazy?
That's one of
when you living right, how the world just moves out your way.
Facts. So yeah, man. We're going to come back for chapter, what is it? 7.
Chapter
6.
7. What's that? The law of respect?
I don't even know. Let's see.
Or solid ground. The law of solid ground. I like this
chapter 6. We're coming back for chapter 6. The law of solid ground. We'll be back, man. Stay tuned. Stay watching us. Stay tuned in. We're going to be back with another episode. And as always, man, we appreciate y'all support. For the people that watch it, everything that's taking some knowledge from this, we appreciate y'all. So, yeah.